Okay, in our most recent video, we were looking at channel viewership from the US, and one state, its stat stood out to me, and that was the state of Missouri. And it's not because of the number of views from Missouri, it's actually on the average view duration. So whoever's following me from the state of Missouri really likes my content. So I thought, you know what, I'll reward the state of Missouri by looking at their pro sports teams. So let's have a quick look at the pro sports teams based in the US state of Missouri. Major League Baseball has two teams based in the state, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals. The NFL obviously has the Kansas City Chiefs, the NHL has the St. Louis Blues, and the MLS has St. Louis City SC, which started play only in 2023. They're a recent expansion team in the MLS. But what is very striking is there's no NBA team in the state. And I find that very, very interesting that the NBA does not have a presence in the state of Missouri. Is that because of the metros being very spread out? Is it because the state's population centres are very spread out, apart from in the east and the west with Kansas City and St. Louis? Is it because there may be less corporate money in the state of Missouri? Advertisers, TV network, TV deals, regional networks, a whole variety of things. But for some reason, the NBA currently doesn't have a presence in the state of Missouri. But let's have a look at the teams that do. Let's start with Major League Baseball, because that's where the state has had its most success. The St. Louis Cardinals have 11 World Series. The Kansas City Royals have 2. So let's start with the Cardinals. They've been very successful in various periods, especially in the 30s and 40s where they win the majority of their titles. But they first win in 1926, so 99 years ago they win their first World Series. They win again in 31, 34, 42, 44 and 46. So around the Second World War they were a very, very successful team. They win 2 World Series in the 60s, in 64 and in 67. And then they have to wait a little while until the early 80s for their 9th World Series in 1982. And then they have to wait until the 2000s, until the 2006 season to win their 10th. And their most recent World Series was 14 years ago, should I say, in 2011. So it's been a while. It's nearly a decade and a half since they last won the World Series. The Kansas City Royals are less successful. They only have the 2 World Series to their name, 1985 and 2015. So it's been a decade since the Kansas City Royals had some success, although they've had more recent success than the Cardinals. And in total, between the two teams, that is 13 World Series. The Cardinals, as I say, one of the most successful teams in Major League Baseball history. The NFL, they've got the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the most dominant teams right now within the NFL, and they're going to win more Super Bowls. There is no doubt. They've got Patrick Mahomes. They're going to win more. Without a doubt, they're going to have more Super Bowl rings. It's just a thing. More Lombardi trophies are going to be handed out to this franchise. Now, they've only won the Super Bowl 4 times, however. 1970, 2020, and back-to-back in 2023 and 2024. Obviously, they lost the most recent Super Bowl, trying to go for 3 in a row, against the Philadelphia Eagles. And we'll do a video on the Philadelphia Eagles and pro sports teams from the state of Pennsylvania at a later date. But they're quite a successful, dominant side right now, and they're regularly making Super Bowls. In the NHL, we have the St. Louis Blues. They only got the 1 Stanley Cup out of 4 Stanley Cup final appearances. Their first 3 appearances happened in 68, 69 and 70. Their first 3 years in the NHL as an expansion team. And it took them until 2019 to finally not only make the Stanley Cup final again, but lift Lord Stanley's Cup. So it took them a long time to actually get some success there. Since 2019, they've been a bit inconsistent in regards of making the playoffs and missing the playoffs. But the Blues finally get that success. They've had some good teams in the past, though. They've had some many conference finals, and they've had some great playoff runs and some great players. Now, the MLS has recently expanded into the state of Missouri, and that's with St. Louis City Soccer Club. Now, they were brought into the state of Missouri when the Rams left St. Louis. To replace the Rams, who were an NFL franchise, and they still are in LA. Part of that was Major League Soccer would come in and fill the void in the market left by the Rams, and the Rams ownership were trying to put a team there. In the end, St. Louis City gets formed as a team, as an expansion team, and they start play in 2023. The process took several years to get to that point, and they've had a decent start to existence. This will be their 3rd season as a professional team in the MLS. And as I say, there are currently no NBA teams in the state of Missouri. So, it's very interesting how It's either Kansas or St. Louis where the teams are based. That's the two major metro areas, and that's where that's the two major population centres as well. On the borders of the state, there's not a lot of population in the middle. A lot of small towns and small cities. It's either St. Louis or Kansas, and they're the big urban areas in the state of Missouri, which could be why the NBA hasn't decided to put a team there. Who knows? But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts on the pro sports teams in the state of Missouri in the comments section below. If you are from the US state of Missouri, what teams do you follow? Do you follow any of these teams, or do you decide not to follow the local team and you follow someone else? That'd be kind of interesting. And what do you think your teams are going to do in the coming season or seasons? Do you think there's going to be more success coming to the state of Missouri? Will the Cardinals win yet another World Series? With the Chiefs winning another Super Bowl? Will the Blues get back to a Stanley Cup final sometime soon? That will be interesting to know. But from me for now, thank you very much for watching. I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon.